So going over the warm-up, solve for the solutions to the quadratic function. We learned yesterday, how do you solve for solutions by hand? Starts with an F. You factor. So what was your first step yesterday to find the solutions? Put 0 in for y, because solution, I want to make sure we're all listening to the explanation so y'all understand it. Solution means x-intercept, and if it's an x-intercept, we learned all the way back in unit 1, that means the y is 0. AirPod out, AirPod out. Thank you. So put 0 in for y. Now, after you put 0 in for y, what do? You factor the quadratic side. So remember, the quadratic side is the side that's what? Hello? Not 0. What does quadratic mean? What does quad mean? 2. So the side that's squared, the side with all the stuff, okay? So everybody look, this is the side we're going to factor. No, you don't do, you're just going to factor it. So let's review factoring now, because that should not be new. So what this tells me is some of y'all have already forgotten how to factor, which is kind of scary because we were literally just doing it last week. You shouldn't have forgotten it this fast. If you did, that means you just studied your butt off the night before to pass the test and then threw it all out the next day. So when you're factoring, what do you always check for first?
GCF.
GCF, and y'all, there is a GCF here. What's the GCF between 6, 18, and 24? 6. Good. Did you guys take out, if my pen will work, did y'all take out the 6? Yes. Oh, there you go. You know how to do this. That's why when you messaged me, I was like, I feel like he should be fine. It's okay. It's because you left yesterday. Take out the 6. So when I take the 6 out, we divide to find what's left, right? So do y'all agree that what would be left would be x squared minus 3x minus 4? No, do they all have an x? Then you can't take it out. When they all have an x, like if this back one had an x, then you would take out an x. They all have to have it though, because it's called a common factor. Okay? Now look at what's left in your parentheses. That's a trinomial. How do we factor a trinomial? What's it called? What's the method called? There we go. Start with the bread. Outsides. How does x squared break down? There y'all go. See, Curtis, you know what you're doing. How does 4 break down? Okay, I heard 2 and 2 and 4 and 1. So now let's look at our signs, y'all. We're subtracting. So we need 4 and 1. Y'all look, if you subtract 4 and 1, do you get 3? Yeah. So Tay, can you tell me how I'm going to break this up? What do I need, baby? 6 in the front, 2 parentheses. Very good. What goes in the front of them? X's. What goes in the back? 4 and then 1. All right, let's see. Chandler, I'm talking to you. You should have known. I love calling on you. Boy, low-key smart with his phone in his hand. All right, you ready? We're subtracting, which means I need what kind of signs? There you go. Different. Good. He said a minus and a plus. So different signs. Chandler, which one should be negative if we want the 3 to be negative? Are we listening? Be careful. If we want the 3 to be negative, there you go. The bigger one matches the middle. Remember me teaching you that? So then the 1 should be plus. Now y'all listen, all of that should be review. If you are still struggling with that, that means you need to stay. If you're good with that and you're struggling with the next part, you can still stay for tutoring, but I'm not as worried about you. So the only other thing you have to do now to find the actual x-intercepts is set all of these factors equal to 0 and solve them, right? Because we're trying to find the solution. So y'all, let me ask you a question because somebody already asked me. When you set 6 equal to 0, is that a real thing? 6 does not equal 0. So this part right here, just this part, not the whole thing, is no solution. That's not a solution because 6 doesn't equal 0. Can we set x minus 4 equal to 0? Okay, if you solve that, what do you get? Good. So if x is 4, that means this x-intercept is 4, 0. It is. It's 4, 0. Be careful. Set it equal to 0. So x plus 1 equals 0. So what would x be? -1. So you should have gotten -1, 0. Let me move that so y'all can see. So once you factor, the only new thing we did yesterday was you set each factor equal to 0 and solve. That is review from Unit 1. If you are struggling with solve by factoring, one, some of y'all need to go do the classwork homework that you had 15 minutes to start. Actually, you had 20. And it was only 6 questions. My people who worked hard in class, Jayla, y'all got like 4 done, right? You and Shia? Yeah, you should have only had to try 2 at home by yourself. Okay? So y'all make sure you're using your time wisely in class, asking questions in class so that it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, join Zoom. So I'm gonna pause. I know I need to do number 6 off of yesterday's assignment. What other ones do you need? If you're somebody who didn't do yours, don't you dare say something. I'll roast you. Zoom recording and everything. I think most of you got number 6 right. Do y'all see where it says teacher created problem? That means Delta Math will not grade it. Who has to grade it? The teacher. So it probably marked all of y'all's wrong. Did you guys get 2? And then for your coordinates, did you get -2, 0 and 2, 0? If you didn't put the word and, that's fine. I got to go back in and grade it, and I'll mark it right. Okay, you got to set it equal to 0 and solve. Good. That's what you should have gotten, those 2 ordered pairs. So if you wrote that there were 2 solutions and wrote those 2 coordinates in some way, it's going to be right. Does anybody actually need me to do it, or were y'all just stressed because it marked it wrong? Just because it marked it wrong. Y'all don't be getting stressed out. If it says teacher created problem, I have to go in and grade it. So it's going to mark all of them wrong. Unless you type it exactly how I did, it'll mark it wrong. So I go back in and grade those, okay? So I'm going to do it just in case. Did we set it equal to 0? Did y'all put 0 in for y? Uh-oh. Okay, like 3 of you said yes. The rest of them are just quiet, not paying attention. Y'all with me? Set 0 in for y. What did y'all do next? Don't you say perfect squares. What are you supposed to check for first? A GCF, so we should have taken out a 4. Some of you did not and got lucky on this one because it still worked. That does not usually happen. So when I divided out the 4, I was left with x squared minus 4. Is everybody okay with that? If there's a GCF, you take it out. If there's not a GCF, then you go on to your next factoring steps, okay? I have a factoring poster. I'm going to hang it up for y'all. All right. So now perfect squares, x squared breaks down into what? X and x. So you should have had x's in the front. What does 4 break down into that's perfect squares? 2 and 2, and then we're subtracting, so we need different signs. And I know they're at the bottom and y'all are having trouble seeing, but that's okay. You should have gotten x plus 2, x minus 2. Then you set every factor to 0. So that would be 4 equals 0. Is that a true statement? No, 4 will never equal 0. $4 is completely different than $0. You still kind of broke because $4 won't get you much, but I mean, you ain't broke, right? Then you set x plus 2 equal to 0. And when you solve that, you should get -2, which is what I got. And then you set the x minus 2 equal to 0. And what should you get? +2. So this is the part that y'all will miss on the test. When I ask you for a coordinate, what am I asking for? The ordered pair or the point? Yes. So I need the x and the y. So if you put -2 and 2, you wouldn't get full credit because those aren't points. I need the ordered pair. Does that make sense? Do we have any other questions on factoring? Like any other specific questions? If you just need help with it, tutoring is today and tomorrow. But tomorrow they're doing something new, I believe. Watch this later, hopefully. We're going to find features. So features just mean parts. Y'all know that, right? Like if I'm talking about a person's facial features, I'm talking about like their eyes, nose, ear, parts of the face, right? So features of quadratics is just parts of quadratics. So we're finding features of quadratics in Desmos. So are we doing stuff by hand anymore? No. Now I'm going to go ahead and say this now. I'm sure you won't remember, so I'll do y'all a favor. I'll tell you every single day up until the test. If it says by hand on the test, you're going to need shown work. Do we understand? You can go ahead and put it in Desmos. Unless you got the right shown work for it, you'll get 0 points for it on the test. All right? I always grade your shown work first and then go grade your test. So if you don't have the shown work, that's needed 0. You're not getting credit on that part, okay? So finding features of quadratics in Desmos. What we're doing today, everything is in Desmos. You don't need shown work. What you do need to make sure you're doing in class is really paying attention, okay? Since it's all done in Desmos. All right, unless we were finding the area and perimeter. Hey! All right, finding parts of parabolas in Desmos. Is everybody with me? Skyla, you paying attention? I know you're looking at something else. Whatever it is, quit looking at it. Look up here. Thank you. All right, so we're going to write down steps. I'm going to do examples, and then we are done. So before we do that, I do want you to draw a picture really quick. Everybody draw a parabola. I got to make sure y'all understand where to find each part before we start going in Desmos. Because otherwise, y'all going to be looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, a parabola is the U-shaped graph of a quadratic. So remember, quad means 2. So how many sides does a parabola have? 2. Good. All right, I'm going to use different colors. Y'all don't have to, but I just want you to watch. What is this point right here called?
Vertex.
Vertex. Very good. Extra credit, you 3. So if I ask you for the vertex, tell you with me, baby? Put it up. I'm going to take it the next time because that's strike 2. Like, put it up. This is more important. I would write this down because some of y'all looking at the wrong thing when it says vertex. If they ask for the vertex, you should be looking at the turning point. What if they ask for the axis of symmetry? Where is that? What kind of line is it?
Imaginary.
I love how you corrected yourself. Good. It is imaginary and it is vertical. So how I used to remember that, it's vertical. It goes through the vertex. They both say vertical vertex. Okay. That's your axis of symmetry. So if they ask you for that, you're going to find the line that would go through the vertex. It's similar. Vertex is a point. Axis of symmetry is an equation. Does that make sense? And it should always say x equals, right? The vertex should always be a point. So it should be x comma y. If you see the words solutions, I'm going to abbreviate roots or zeros, what am I asking for? The x-intercepts, which means we're going to look at what, Gwyneth? The x-axis. If it says solutions and you go to the y-axis, I cannot help you. It's really just going to be wrong. Y'all are laughing, but some people are doing that. X-intercepts, you need to look on the x-axis, okay? I feel like those are the only ones we need to review because how is this one opening? Up. The arrows are pointing up. It starts at the bottom, opens up, right? So, I mean, there's nothing to write for that. Does it have a max or a min? It is a minimum because it's at the bottom. Good. So y'all remember those, right? These are the 3 that y'all will mess up. So I want to make sure we're good on this. And when y'all say you're good, we'll write down steps and I'm going to do like 2 examples and then I'm turning you loose. It is 3 steps and they're short because y'all should already know how to use Desmos. Curtis, you with me, baby? Is everybody good? Can I go on the steps? Huh? Oh, that I don't think that'll work at school. Yeah. I think that's for smaller groups of people. All right, steps, y'all. Step 1, go to www.what? Desmos.com. Or how many of y'all put the app on your phone? I recommend using the app. So here's why, y'all listen. I would put the app on your phone because then you don't have to click back and forth between the computer screens. So you can look at the problem on Delta Math and look at Desmos at the same time. Just a recommendation. Yes, you have to put the answers into Delta Math. Yep, but we're going to find all the answers in Desmos, just like we did in Unit 2. No, it's a website. So they don't have an app version for the computer. So you're going to go to desmos.com and click in a new box. That should also be familiar. All right, y'all, step 2. Type in the quadratic equation they give. So whatever the problem says, whatever equation they give you, you're going to type that into Desmos and look at the graph. Because once we type the equation in, Desmos will do what? Yeah, it'll graph it for you. You just have to know where to go click on the graph. So if I say vertex and you click on an x-intercept, it's going to be wrong. And I don't want to hear, oh, I clicked on the wrong thing, duh. Clearly. All right? Or you graphed it wrong. You typed it in wrong. So type in the quadratic equation they give and look at the graph. And then the only other thing you have to do is click on the part of the graph that is asked for. And that's it. Like if it says vertex, you better click on that turning point. If it says solutions, you got to click on the x-intercepts. It says y-intercept, click on the y-intercept. I'm going to pause while y'all finish writing the steps, and then we'll do 2 examples. So example 1, I know it's small, so if you need me to call it out for you, I can. I'm going to put it right here. Example 1, given this equation, negative x squared plus 2x plus 1, I want y'all to find the vertex, the AOS. Are y'all fine if I abbreviate that? Okay, I'm not trying to write out axis of symmetry. Very long. And let's do direction of opening and max or min. That's okay. It looks like a lot, but remember, Desmos is going to do all the work for you. So it's only going to take us, I'm not kidding, like 3 minutes. So I'm going to pause while we're finishing writing down the example. You're fine, baby. So here's our example. What do your steps say to do? Go to desmos.com and click in a new box. What do we type into that box? The equation. Yes, the y equals equation. So can y'all call it out to me because mine is covered up? Y equals. Okay, now hang on. Do y'all remember how to type in squared? You hit the shift and the little up arrow on your keypad, or y'all look, see this little keypad on Desmos? There's a squared button. Okay, you can click either one. Negative x squared, what's after that? Plus 2x plus what? Plus 1. Y'all look, this is so nice. They done graphed it for you. They gave you the points too. So listen, all you have to do, I'm going to move my paper so we can see everything. All we have to do is find from this graph the vertex, the AOS, the direction of opening, and if it has a max or min. Which two are easiest to see first? Y'all are liars. Is it a max or a min? Do you have to click anything to see that? Which one is it? A max. Y'all talking about some vertex. What do you not have to click on? Max or min? It's a max. It's the point is at the top. Now what else do we have to click nothing to find? Where's it opening? Down. Very good. Very good. That took what? 5 seconds? Like if that, okay? It's opening down and there's a maximum. So now to find the vertex in the AOS, we can find it pretty easy because Desmos graphed it, but you're gonna have to actually click in the right spot, okay? So everybody watch. Where do I click to find the vertex? The middle top. Very good. So everybody look, I'm gonna click. If you don't click, it's not gonna tell you the number. So I'm gonna click. There's the point. What's the vertex?
1, 2.
1, 2. I knew Curtis would be excited about this. Now be careful on this next part. The axis of symmetry is a line that goes through the middle. So I want you to watch. If I drew a vertical line through the middle, what number is it going to pass through? 1 on the X. So what do you write? There you go.
Good God,
I knew you would.
I needed them.
Is it hard? Everybody listen. Is it hard? No, but if you don't click on the right thing or look for the right thing, you're going to miss it, okay?
So you don't have to click on the, you just go down and find it.
Yeah, if you click on the graph and like move your cursor over the points, it'll tell you all of them. So like just to practice, y'all look, everybody look, this point right here, who can tell me what this point is? The y-intercept.
Y-intercept.
Yes. And then look, what these two are the x-intercepts. Very good. You do type in both of them if it asks for the x-intercepts. Y'all are jumping ahead of me because I'm going to do an example with intercepts.
Okay.
So if your question is about intercepts, don't ask it now. I'm about to do an example. Y'all are good. All right, example 2. Curtis is excited. Yes, you are, baby.
Because see, yes, I'm good.
Uh-huh. Example 2 for this one. Here's the equation. Just write it down. And this time I want you to tell me max or min, roots, and y-intercept. So while y'all are copying the problem down in your notebook, because you should answer these with me, I'm going to pause. Okay, so what do you do? Where do you go? Desmos and type in what?
Y equals.
Now listen, I'm going to cut you off for just a second. You are right though. This is not in standard form. Do y'all agree? That is not ax squared plus bx plus c. Did I say it had to be in standard form? No, type in whatever they give you. Desmos will graph all the forms. Desmos will graph anything. Okay? So we're going to type in, this is still a quadratic. I'm going to backtrack because isn't it still squared?
Yes.
So it's still going to make a parabola shape, okay? Because it's got x squared somewhere. So we're going to type in y equals parentheses x plus 2. I'm going to come down here and square it. Minus 7. And it graphs it for you. So let's look at the graph. Let's look at the graph. Is it a max or a min? Minimum. Now, I'm going to step it up a notch. Is everybody watching? You're going to be fine. You'll be fine. Everybody watch. If they say, what is the minimum point? You would just click on it. What's the minimum point? -2, -7. Okay? Yeah. But wait, whoa. I know he didn't just say that. That is the minimum. Does that have anything to do with the roots? I thought you said so that would be the answer. For the minimum, yes. That is not the roots, baby. So let's help them out. Y'all, where do you click to find the roots? What sides?
2 points it touches the x-axis.
x-axis, y'all, roots means x-intercepts, right? So y'all click on the x-axis. I'm going to click there so it'll stay, and click there. What are we going to write? Write what it says unless I tell you to round. Did everybody hear me say that? And I know y'all know how to round because I taught you about the big booty. Remember? Rounding, we would look back at it. If she had a big butt, that made us happy. Round up. All right. We're not rounding. It says, oh, I'm going to wait till y'all are with me. I'm not going to round because it doesn't say to. I'm going to write exactly what it says. So there's the first one, negative 4.646, comma 0. And I'm going to write the second one, 0.646, comma 0. So there are two roots. There are two x-intercepts. What if there's one x-intercept? Then you just write the 1. If it only touches once, it only touches once. What if there's none? What do you write? None. We feel okay with that? All right. Now, y'all, I'm going to unclick off the graph so those go away. Where do we look for the y-intercept? Good. So the vertical axis. So I'm going to go down till it touches. I'm going to click right here. There it is. What's the y-intercept? That boy's excited. Do you feel like you could do this on your own using Desmos and Delta Math?
Yeah.
Yes, great. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. My Zoom babies, y'all you can stay while you work or you can leave. It does not matter to me, okay?